ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। चैतन्यं सर्वगं सर्वं सर्वभूतगुहाशयं यत्सर्वविषयातीतं तस्मै सर्वविदे नमः। स्मरतो दृश्यते दृष्टम् पटे चित्रमिवार्पितम् यत्र येन तौ ज्ञेयम् सत्त्वक्षेत्रज्ञसंज्ञकौ फलान्तं चानुभूतं यत् युतं कर्त्रादिकारकैः स्मर्यमाणं हि कर्मस्थम् पूर्वं कर्मैव तच्चितः। So first it is said, Nanyat Anyat Bhaved. If Jiva is thought to be different from Brahma, then you can never expect the oneness or identity between them, because one thing cannot become the other. In that possessing another thing, it gets destroyed. One of them has to be destroyed in order for the two become one. And one should transform it. The nature must be given up, which also cannot be. Therefore, Nanyat Kinchit Vichinted. That I am Brahman, other than that, no other thought should be there. Meaning it, so the question of contemplating upon the self, always contemplate on yourself as you are Brahman. Bheda bhavanat sohamityasau bhavana vida pavanimada. Atma ityeva dhyayat. I am Atma, Brahman. This is how one should always look at oneself, think of oneself, contemplate upon oneself. Smarato drishyate dushtam pate chitram ivarpitam. Smarataha pumsa, a person who is remembering something. Drishtam nilapitadi yatrantah karane tadvasanarupam. So what was seen or experienced earlier, such as nilapitadi, is stored as what? Vasana rupam, as samskaras. Drishtam, then, pate arpidam chitramya drishyate. So when it is then remembered, it is seen as a painting on the canvas. So the past memories, the past experiences live as samskaras in the mind. When those samskaras arise again, then you see what you saw in the past. Except now we are seeing it without the object being there. What is seeing are just the samskaras, the vasana samskaras, and they are like a painting on a canvas. So what is that canvas? The sattvam, the buddhi is the canvas upon which the nilapitadi is seen by you. To sattva kshetrajna sanjnakau. So these two are sattva, what is seen is sattva drishya, and the drashta is kshetrajna. The question was, you say that you are seeing this nilapitadi on the canvas of antahkaranam, provided antahkaranam is pratyaksham. Now there are different schools of thought who have different views about what is what. So somebody may think that antahkaranam is not pratyaksham. Katham suti avasthayam tasmin nilapitadi upalambha. In Smriti you say that the nilapita is seen on the background of antahkaranam, in the ashraya of antahkaranam. Provided antahkaranam is pratyaksham, then only nilapitadi can be pratyaksham. Say phalantam chanubhutam yat yutam kartradikarakaihi. Kartradikarakaihi yutam phalantam सुखादि फलवसानम कर्त्रादि कारकहि युतम युक्तम यद्वैतम पूर्वम अनुभूतम. So sukha dukkha etc., that which results into the phala or results into sukha dukkha is always kartradi karakahi yutam. Yutam yuktam always endowed with the karakam, kartru, karma, karana. It is these three karakas required for phala to happen. So yadvaitam, the dvaitam that you experienced earlier involved this karakam, kartru, karma, karam. Tadidam smaryamanam. Then when you remember it now, karmastham is also drishyanishtam, that is also drishyam. So what you remember from the past, which experience involved, the kartadi karakam, kartradi karakam, when you remember that this drishyam not drashtu, it is drishyanishtam, natu drashtunishtam, is very clear to you that it has its being on locus in drishya, not in drashta. You don't experience that, as I, as that. The idea is that if mind was not pratyaksha, then all these things would not be seen as drishya. You would have experienced them as I, happening in I. Whereas all nilapita, these experiences drishya. So again, memory is pointed out, brought here as an experience to understand. So nadu drashtunishtam tasmat. So when you are remembering, you remember, see this nilapita, this drishyanishtam. So therefore when you experience them, they are all drishyanishtam, they were not drashtunishtam. So purvanubhuta vishakara hi vritti antahkaranatmaka smriti iti uchyate. Purvanubhuta vishakara. The Vishaya, the Khatapatadi or Nilapitadi, Akara, the Vritti, there is that form. Antahkarana Parinatmika. The Nilakar Vritti, Pitakar Vritti, Antahkarana Parinam is the modification of mind. Mind alone becomes that Vritti. That's called Smriti. So that state of mind, Nilapitadi, which has the same form as the Vishaya that experienced in the past, just Smriti, Tasyami Vishayo Bhasmana Sashrayo Bhasade. In the Smriti, the Vishaya, the object that you remember, Nilapitadi, that Nilapitadi, Bhasa shines only with its locus, not otherwise. Nilapita is not independent, they shine along with the locus, where they are located, in the mind. Nitada sakshana anubhuyamanasya vishayasya bhirashaya avasthanamasti. That time, when the Sakshi of the Atma experiences Nilapitadi, Ashraya of Nilapita is not somewhere else. It is where it is, right, Drishyam, that is what the Ashraya is. Tathacha idam smaramiti paramarshyogyataya. Idam smarami, idam nilapitadim smarami, which I experienced earlier, that's what I remember. That's paramarsha is there. Recollection is there. Dushyasthaya anubhavasya vansham. Therefore, that memory, the objects of memory always experiences drishyastha. Is located, not only drushya, but drishyasthaha. Nilapita is drishyam, at the same time they are also located in a locus or the adhikaranam, which is also drishyam. Then what is that adhikaranam? Tada chittameva smarimana adhikarana chittam antahkaranam. So that Nilapitadi experience of Drishya, Nilapitadi are seen along with their Adhikaranam locus. So locus also is Drishyam. Therefore, what is the locus? Chittameva locus. So mind alone is the locus, therefore mind also is seen. In memory, when we see or experience the objects which we experienced in the past, and now also we are experiencing these objects along with their locus, like a painting on the cloth. Siddham antahkanasya sakshi pratyakshattvamidi. So this experience of memory, you may have questions about your experience in the waking state, but in the memory it is very clear that the objects are not there. But you are seeing them as drishya, and you could not be without the locus. So locus, the chittam also is drishyam. Meaning sakshi pratyaksham. The question was, if you take mind as the Atma, it won't be sakshi pratyaksham. Mind is not the Atma because it is pratyaksha or perceived by the sakshi. Now continuing. Atma drashta drishyam chaiti bhattaha menire. So Bhatta school of Mimamsakas, they point to experience of deep sleep. The deep sleep or in the dream, I experience my own self. So one part of me experience, because that's all there is only I. How to explain that experience, even of deep sleep also when I experience Ananda? Who experiences what? So Bhatta say that one part of you experiences the other part of you. The Ananda that experience is your own part. Therefore, like one hand working with the other hand, one part working with the other, one part perceiving other. So drashta drishyam cha. So you alone are drashta, you alone are drishyam. That's what the experience of deep sleep reveals. So they believe that way. Mean re, that's what they believe. Atah swagatam eva vasana rupam atma pashyati. So atma swagatam vasana rupam pashyati. Atma sees, experiences something that is within its swagatam, which obtains within oneself. Vasana rupa. What obtains as oneself in the form of vasana is what I see in the dream, in the sleep. Therefore, so you explain idam smaravit anubhava. The Siddhanta took the experience, idam smarami, I remember this. That anubhava was explained as establishing the chittam of the mind as sakshi pratyaksham. It is not you are seeing yourself. So when you are seeing the ghatapata or nilapitadi, you are seeing a part of your own self. So that ghatapatadi, which are there in the form of vasanas within you, is what you are seeing. That's why mind is not sakshi pratyaksham. So that time you are not seeing mind, you are seeing yourself. Anuvasya anyatha siddhatvad. So this experience, aham smarami, can be also explained differently. You explain that experience as experiencing the vritti along with the mind. So now you are experiencing yourself. Part of you which was in samskara form, that's what you are experiencing. So understand that the Siddhanta should be that which should be able to explain the experiences of life. So this experience of life is explained one way by Bhattas, other way by Vedantins. So their conclusion is na antahkaranasya sakshi pratyakshadayati. Therefore, antahkaranam is not perceived by the sakshi. So that's why the question was, antahkaranam, who says sakshi pratyaksham? So the memory experience, Vedantin pointed out that memory, you see those vrittis along with their ashraya, and therefore that mind which ashraya is pratyaksham. Says, no, you are not seeing something different from you. You are seeing part of your own self. So how that experience depends on how you explain that, then you arrive at different conclusions. So raising this doubt, the next verse, fourth verse says, Drashtuschanyad bhaved drishyam drishyatvad ghatavat sada drishyad drashta sajatiyah nadivat sakshitanyatha. Drashtuhu cha anyad bhaved drishyam. Drishyam drashtuhu anyad bhaved. Drishyam, what is perceived, has to be separate from drashta, the perceiver. Why is no say drishyatvad? Because it is drishyam. Ghatavat, like ghata is drishyam, and drishya is always different from drashta. And therefore, in the memory also, when you see a ghata, that is a drishya, therefore drashta must be different. See, this is how. Now, when he says that when you see the memory, you are seeing your own part, you are not seeing someone different from you, means that drashta and drishya, or, experience and experience are the same entity, same self. But this first line here establishes the separateness of the two. That when I perceive a part, I am distinct from the pot. I am not perceiving myself, I am perceiving something different from me. Now that you would accept over pot. The pot is a tangible object out there, and I, the perceiver, is different from the drishya, the pot, is an accepted fact. So then that model is to apply to everything. Drishyat, drashta, asajat, asajatiyah. So drishtyam is achetanam, drashta is chetana. Therefore, this experience of the ghata, pata, etc. establishes that drashta is different from drishya. They don't belong to, see, if I am seeing myself, then drashta and drishya sajatiya. If I am seeing a part of me, then this also is live, as seer also is live. Then they belong to the same jati. So if what you are seeing is your own self, part of you, then you belong to the same category. But ghata is achetana, drashta is chetana, the drashta is not the same jati as drishya. Therefore, na divat sakshita anyatha. Therefore, na sakshita, otherwise there will be no sakshita anyatha. So that's what the Tika explains. So vimatam means what? Vivadaspadam. So that which is subject to dispute. What's the dispute here? That drishyam is a part of drashta. That's what Bhatta say. What do we say? Drishyam, drashtu, atyantam bhinnam. Drishya, the object that is perceived, is totally different from the drashta. Usually drashta is totally different from drishya. Drishyatvat, because this drishyam, it is seen ghatavata. So pointing out our day-to-day experience. Iti yukte, when it is said, drashtru drishyoho bhedepi, no, parinamattvena sajatya samavad. Alright, when you say this, he says that drashyam drashtu atyantam bhinnam ghatavat iti yukte drashtu drashyoho bhedepi. So even if you accept the bheda of the drashta and drishya, even then parinamattvena sajatya sambhavat. Still, drashta can be of the same category, jati, as a drishyam. But drashta also is a modification, and drashya also is a modification, one modification, perceiving a modification of self. There is sambhava is there. Drashtuhu sajatya drishyamidi. Even that experience also can be interpreted as drashtuhu sajatiyam drishyam. The drishya is the same jati, chetan, as you are. Iti ashankya hai. So therefore, next line is drashyat. Atma drishya drashta asajatiyah. Drashta sadaiva drishya asajatiyah. Drashta is always of a different jati or a category from drishyam. Why is it so? Drashta has to be distinct from drishyam. Not of the same, this is anatma, achetan, and drashta is chetanam. This is jadam, this is chetanam. So, if both of them belong to the same category, then drishyam shasya achetanatvat atmatva anupattehe. This much is accepted, that Atma is Chetana. And if you say that it is the same category as Ghata, then Ghata is Achetana, Atma also becomes Achetana. So Drishyam Sasya Acetanatvat, the Drishya Amsha in the Atma would be Achetana. And therefore he cannot be Atma. So Atmatva Anupattehe. If you take Atma, same category as an Atma, Drishya, then you also become, because this is known as Achetanam, Ghata. So Achetana aspect in you will become Drishya and not Atma. Achetana cannot be Atma. So Drashta cannot be the same jati as Drishya because then it cannot be Atma. If you don't accept it, then Vipakshe doshamaha na dhivaditi anyatha na dhivat sakshita anyatha. Anyatha drashtu drishyayoho asajatiyatva anangikare. So we said that drashta is asajatiya with reference to drishya. If you don't accept it, drashtu parinamitvat, then drashta also undergoes parinama or change. Because drishya is changing. Drashta also the same category of drishya, then drashta also is subject to change. And what is subject to change? Always drishyam, na sakshita. Because the changing entity cannot be sakshi. If the ghata is changing and the perceiver also changes, then they cannot be perceiver relationship. Because drashta must remain the same for the drashta to get to recognize drishyam as different. I have to be motionless in order for me to perceive motion. If I am moving at the same speed as the moving entity, then I cannot perceive the movement. The two parallel tracks, you are sitting in one train, both of trains are moving the same speed, then you cannot spot the movement of the other one. For you to spot the change in another one, you should not be changing. Then you can see this now the ghata is complete and now it is broken. You must be there before and after. The same entity, then only you can say that this change has happened. So if drashta also is changing according to you, then he cannot be drashta. He cannot be a seer or a witness. Parinamitvat. Drishyam undergoes change. Drashta belongs to the same category. Drashta also will undergo change. Then sakshita nasyaditi. Anyatha means otherwise. If you do not accept that the sakshi is of a different category than sakshya, then sakshi also will undergo change. In that case, it can't be sakshi. And therefore, atmana na sakshita syat. Atma cannot be sakshi. Atma also becomes sakshya because achetana. Nanu na bhavateva atma sakshi. Now different ways arguments are made. Na bhavateva atma sakshi. Alright, we say that atma is sakshi na bhavati eva. Atma is not sakshi, definitely. Why? Tasya brahmanyadi. So this is also mimamsakas who accept atma as karta bhokta. So Atma performs karma here and becomes bhokta in the Swarga. And so Brahmanyadi Jatiman, then Atma is possessed of this jati of Brahmana who performs the karma and gets the result. Therefore, tasya Brahmanyadi Jati mattaya. Atma is possessed of the jati of Brahmanatvam, Brahmanoham, etc. That's what Atma is. Then only he can be commanded to perform action. Then he can perform such an action and get the result in Swarga. So, jati mattaya savisheshatvat. The Atma is savishesha, possessed of the vishesha, the attributes of Brahmanatvam, being a Brahmana, etc. Karma, then Atma becomes karma adhikari. When Vedas say amum yaja, do this, to who is being told? Atma is being told. Brahmano yajeta is Brahmana is being told, so you are being told, so you are a Brahmana. And therefore Veda commands you to perform this action. So when you are a Brahmana, then that Brahmanatvam is what you possess, so Brahmanatvam vishesha. So Atma is Savishesha, possesses the attributes of Brahmanatva, etc. Therefore, karma adhikaritvena, therefore that is what makes you karma adhikari. Parinamito upattehe, therefore Atma can be changing. Why do you say Atma cannot change? We say that Atma cannot change if Atma has to be Sakshi. But they say Atma is Brahmana because Veda says so. You do certain Brahmano yajeta, may Brahmana perform this and this action, the Veda accepts Atma as Brahmana, possessor of Brahmanatva. So then Atma is changing. So why should Atma not be changing? What Vedas say presupposes a changing Atma, Savishesha Atma. And so your contention Atma cannot be Parinami is here contradicted by what the Vedas say. It is asking, so how to interpret Veda's statements? That's the whole idea now. How Mimamsakas interpret statements of Vedanta as arriving at the conclusion that the Vedas are commanding you to perform the action because you are karma adhikari. Atma is karma adhikari, qualified to, obliged to perform karma. So what's the nature of Atma? Am I karma adhikari or what am I? Iti ashankyaha. So then next verse replies this ashanka, fifth verse. Svatma buddhim apekshasau vidhinam syat prayojakaha jatyadishyavattena tadvannatmatmatanyatha. Jatyadi, the karma is Jatyadi, meaning Brahmanatvadi. So Jatyadi karma prasyat karma prayojaka. That Brahmanatva etc. would become prayojaka, would become the responsible for engaging in karma. It's true. Because Brahmanam therefore have to perform this karma. So that Jatyadi, Jati, Vayaha, Avastha, whether you are young then the duty is different, old the duty is different, etc. So those are the things that are vidhinam prayojaka syat, that makes you responsible for or makes you connected with vidhi. When Veda says Brahmano yajeta, that vidhi is connected with Brahmana. So Brahmanatva in you becomes a prayojakam, becomes a reason for you to become karma adhikari and then perform the karma. Swat buddhim apekshasau, that this is Atma, that I am Brahmana, that is how Brahmanatvam becomes karma prayojakam. If Brahmana was different, would not have become karma prayojakam. But Swatma buddhi apeksha, Swatma buddhi, that buddhi, the conclusion that I am Swatma, I am Brahmana, that is how Brahmanatvam becomes the prayojaka, becomes a reason for you or prompts you to perform the action, compels you to perform action, or engages you into performing action. But is it Brahmana, is it your nature? Shavavat, that an example is Shava, like a dead body. Dead body also, father and mother becomes karma prayojakam. That father or mother is dead, that body, because I still say that is my father. That is why that is not Swatma, but then that is Atmiya, that is mine, that is what prompts me to perform different rituals, after departure. Antyeshti samskara. So I perform Antyeshti samskara of someone, even dead body. When Atmiyata is there, when it is my father or my mother, etc. Otherwise I don't. So Shava also. how a dead body also makes me engage in activity, prompts me to perform an action because of Atmiyata, because this is my father. It is not Shava, it is Atmiyata that is what in fact prompts you into action. So, or Atmiya. So, Brahmana is looking at Atma, that is the reason why it prompts you to perform action, not otherwise. Merely Shava does not do. But Atmiyata is Shava. Atmiyata means this is my father. That mindness is what prompts you to action. Oh, this is I, that Brahmana, that because I call myself Brahmana, that is why Brahmanatvam prompts me to action. Not otherwise. Not this Brahmanatvam, but because of my Abhimanam. Not this Shava, because of my Abhimanam. So, na Atmata, therefore, Tena Tadvat na Atmata Anyatha. Other than that, cannot be Atmata. So, it's a very interesting example given. We see the Tika. Swatodim apeksha asau. Asau jatyadihi. The asau in the first line goes with jatyadihi in the first word in the second line. Both are in the prasamanta. Asau jatyadihi. This jatyadihi, jati etc. or brahmanatvadihi, brahmanoham etc. Jatyadi, jati etc. Jati means birth etc. So caste etc. here. Adi Shabdat Vayovasthadi Grushyade. So not only a Brahmanatvam, but whether you are a Brahmachari, Gruhastha, Vanapastha, so that also decide what you do. So Avasthadi Vayaha. So whether you are young or old, whether Brahmachari, Kshatriya, Grihastha. So these are the kind of things that also play a role. The ashrama, varna, avastha, all of these are determinants in making you perform action. So you feel that you are commanded to perform action because you are a brahmana, because you are a grihastha, because you are old, etc. So that is why this Brahmanatvam prompts you to perform action because of your identification with that. By itself it does not. Swatma buddhim. So when Swatma buddhi is there, Swasmin, Atma Atmiya, Atmi Abhimana Lakshanam, Mithya Drishti, that Brahmanatvam, I call it Atma, I am Brahmana. Or Atmiya, I possess Brahmanatvam. It is that which is Mithya Drishti. This is Mithya Drishti. This Drishti or perception of myself that I am a Brahmana or I possess Brahmanatvam is Mithya arising from identification with the body. Vidhinam prayojaka pravartaka syat. So that perception of myself, which is the result of the identification of upadhi. That perception of myself prompts me or compels me to perform an act. That's what makes me karma adhikari. Vidhinam prayojaka pravartaka syat. Then I become, in fact, subject of that vidhi. Then vidhi can act upon me when I have this notion about myself. Nanyata. If I did not have the abhimana, because one who doesn't look upon him as Brahmana is not affected by that command. And similarly, avastha, etc., one doesn't have that abhimanam, doesn't feel that way, doesn't become commanded by that, doesn't feel that I am commanded. So, example is Shava. Yatha Shavaha, what is Shava? Utkrantar prano deha. Shava means a dead body, a body from which prana has gone away. Life has gone away. Mama mata, mama pita chayati, adhyas anusarena. In spite of that, there is no mata pita there. They have departed. And still abhimanam is there in that Shava. This is my mata, my pita. So that is that This perception of you that you are a son is what prompts you or what makes you perform the different rituals, not otherwise. If you did not look upon yourself as son or related to this person, nothing would happen to you. Otherwise, that body would not do it. When walking about, you see, nothing happens to you that you should do something. If you think that I am a citizen, this, that, and I am a good Samaritan, then it is that abhimanam which will prompt. In short, abhimanam will prompt into action. Abhimanam will create a new sense of obligation or, I should respond. Not that thing. Not a given thing does it. Not a Brahmanatvam does it. Brahmanoham, that abhimanam does it. Brahmanatva belongs to body. If you did not have abhimanam, then you would not feel that the Shruti is commanding you. So, adhyasa anusarana samskara prayojaka drishyate. Because in Shava also adhyasa is there, mama mata, mama pita, it is adhyasa or perception of them and their perception of you, which is prayojaka, which what prompts you to perform the necessary ritual. So dhamave na drishyate, other person doesn't have abhimanam that this is my father or I am the son, then it does not prompt you into any activity. Nothing happens to you. So it is not Shava that prompts you into activity. Abhimanam in Shava. And therefore a notion about yourself, your perception of yourself ultimately what prompts you to action. Not a given thing. It is not a given thing that necessarily compels you to action. It is the complex that thing generates in you, that is what that complex of self-perception is what is compelling you to action, or prompting you to action. So that's very beautiful insight, Not a Brahmanatva. That I am a Brahmana, that abhimanam is what? So what Vedantin says that Atma is not commanded to an action. Only when Atma has an abhimanam that he feels he is commanded into action, a wise person is free from that, therefore no vidhi or command attach itself to him. Tena hetuna Tena is the second line. Tena, because of that reason. Tena hetuna tadvata shavat eva syatyadihi atmadharva na bhavati. Na atmata shavavat. So just shavavat, shava is not atma. And still shava can become the cause of prompting your action because of abhimanam. So Brahmanatva is not atma. It can still cause you to perform action because of abhimanam, that Brahmanoham. So the very subtle analysis here. What causes you? They have not thought about it. Vedanta says Brahmanatvam doesn't cause. Brahmanoham. Now if that abhimanam goes away by the Atmanatma Viveka, then you are not subject to any vidhi nisheda at all. So that's called freedom. Freedom from vidhi, freedom from dharma, dharma. Anyatha jatyadimatve atmano ghatadivat anatmasa anyatha anatmada prasajyeta. If Brahmanatva is the nature of Atma, then Brahmanatva is drishyam. In that case, jatyadimatve, Atma is possessed of jati, etc., Brahmanatva, etc., then Atmana ghatadivata. Jati, etc., is something that is known and perceived like ghata. So then Atma becomes drishya, anatmada prasajyeta, Atma will become anatma. Atma is Brahmana, then Brahmana is drishya, then Atma also is drishya, and what is drishya is anatma. Atmana anatmada prasajyeta. That's how, by this mode of thinking, you are saying that Atma is anatma. Iti yojaniyam. Tasmat saksheva atma na karmadhikaritaya parinamiti bhava. Atma is Sakshi, not Karmadhikari. If he is Karmadhikari, then he changes. Because when you perform karma, then also changes are brought about in you, then your parinami changing, then you are perishable and anatma. And therefore, Brahmanatvam cannot be the nature of Atma. It is the result of Abhimanam. So whether Brahmanam is my nature, that's what Mimamsaka says. That's how you are prompted to karma. He says, no, it is Abhimanam. Abhimanam goes, no more prompting. And therefore, even when you think you are a Brahmana, it's a Brahma, in reality you are only Sakshi. Nanu na adhyas, continuing, nanu na adhyas nibandhanam kartrutvam. Why do you say ham karta? I am a karta is the result of adhyasa. Adhyasa nibandhanam caused by adhyasa, superimposition. Viddushopi mokshaya kriya anushthanaditi. Even Vidwan also, wise person also, for attaining moksha must perform karma. So then you may call it jnana karma samuchaya, that wise person also cannot attain moksha unless he performs his duty, karma. So vidushopi mokshaya kriya anushthanaditi. A Vidwan also will not attain moksha unless he performs his karma. So how do you say kartrutvam? Because Vidwan also is karta, therefore he has to perform that karma to gain moksha. Merely vidvatvam or knowledge is not enough to give you moksha. When you perform karma, then alone you get qualified for moksha. That's also a view. So, kriya anusthana dichet. So, wise person also has to perform karma, which he cannot do unless he is a karta. So, kartrutvam is nature of Atma, not adhyasa, not result of adhyasa. So, to that the next verse says, न प्रिया प्रिय इत्युक्ते न देहत्वं क्रियाफलम् देहयोगः क्रिया हेतुः तस्माद् विद्वान् क्रियास्त्यजेत्. न प्रिया प्रिये स्पृशतः अशरीरं वा वसन्तं न प्रिया प्रिये स्पृशतः. Statement from 8th chapter of Chandogya Upanishad, where in the 4th round Prajapati teaches Martyam va idam shariram. Bhagavan, he Indra, Martyam va shariram. Then he said that Amrutasya Atmana Adhishthanam, Sharirasya Amrutasya Atmana Adhishthanam, this shariram which is mortal, is nevertheless Adhishthanam, Adhikaranam, or place of manifestation of Atma, that is immortal and bodiless. Asharirasya Amrutasya Atmana Adhishthanam. Atma is Asharira, bodiless, Amrita and immortal. This body is Adhisthana, the place of manifestation of that Atma. Thereby saying that Atma is Asharira and Sharira is different. Then says that na sasarirasya satah priya priyaho apahati asti. As long as one is sasharira, identified with the body, so long one cannot become free from the effect or affliction, the priya, ragadvesha, etc. Ashariram va vasantam na priya priya sprushatah. But one is asharira, bodiless, means knows himself bodiless, becomes free from the effect of priya and apriya. So there Atma is declared asharira. So now Shruti is being resorted to also support what is being said earlier. So what is moksha? Moksha is the result of karma. So therefore it says adehatvam, asharitvam hi moksha. Vedanta says. So adehatvam na priya priya iti yukte na adehatvam kriyaphalam. So adehatvam is moksha according to Vedanta, that you don't need to take another birth. If that is what is moksha? Freedom from next birth and the cycle of birth and death. For them, moksha is attainment of a certain loka. We say no, moksha is freedom from birth and death, gata gatam, kama kama labhante. If Swarga is the goal, then you have to come back. Shine punya martyalokam vishanti. Come back to martyaloka when the punya gets exhausted. Therefore, going someplace or being someplace cannot be the ultimate thing, because if you go, then you have to come back. There is no going and coming as far as moksha is concerned, therefore, Atma is nitya mukta. What makes Atma bound is the identification of the body. Not that Atma becomes bound, but creates the notion of bondage. So being bodiless means being free from the identification of the body. So that's what is moksha. Because Atma is nitya mukta. And tad na kriyaphalam and ashariratvam. Adehatvam, ashariratvam, being unembodied, being bodiless, is the nature of Atma, not the result of a karma. Na kriyaphalam, being bodiless is the nature of Atma, being possessed of body is a notion born of ignorance, and therefore that fire is hot is not the result of kriya. The nature is that which exists, self-existent, therefore is not the nature of karma. So, ashariyatvam, being unembodied or bodiless, is the nature of Atma, na kriyaphalam. Kriyaphalam tu sukha dukkhe prasiddhe. Everybody knows that the kriya of the action brings about sukha dukkha, never brings about ashariratvam. Te tu na asharirasya drushte shruteva. The kriyaphalam is sukha dukkha, but asharira, unembodied, never experienced sukha dukkha. Only sasharira. So sasharirasya sataha na priya priyaho apahadhi asti. The one that is possessed of body, identified with the body, alone is subject to the attack of sukha dukkha, not one who is free from that identification. Ashariram vasantam na priya priya sprushataha iti ukte. So na priya priya is from this ashariram vasantam, the one who is asharira, priya priya na sprushataha. So priya priya is subject and ashariram vasantam object. So this priya priya na sprushataha is a dual. Therefore this priya priya do not touch, do not affect, do not afflict. Whom do ashariram vasantam? One is ashariram, to him that priya priya, raga dvesha, etc. cannot attach themselves, cannot affect them. Iti uktehe shrutyayam eva muktatvad. So we are not saying that, Shruti is saying that. Veda is saying that. The Atma is a Sharira. So na priya priya iti uktehe na dehatvam kriyaphalam. One statement. Because Upanishad says that Atma is bodiless, therefore the state of bodilessness is not the result of an action, it is only a result of discovered knowledge. Then what causes kriya? Deha yoga kriya hetu. Second line says, Deha yoga kriya hetu. So kriya hetu is explained here. Kriya, so kriya hetu is the adjective visheshana of deha yoga. So it becomes a bahuvrihi samas. Kriya hetu is what? Kriya hetu yasyasya kriya hetu. Saha deha yoga. So deha yoga is one for which kriya becomes hetu. Deha yoga is identifying the deha becomes a hetu for kriya. Not unembodiedness, not bodilessness, but the identifying the body is what causes kriya, becomes the cause for kriya. So kriya, deha sambandheva sadhya, na moksha, By Kriya you cannot get moksha, Vedanta says. He says that by Kriya you get moksha, by karma. What do you get by karma is next birth, Deha Yoga, the association of the body and Sukha Dukkha. So therefore, what Kriya or karma does is Deha Sambandha eva sadhya. The karma brings about sambandha or association of the body and not freedom from that, not moksha. Deha yoga kriya hetu tasmad vidwan kriyas tyajed. Yasmad eva, since this is so, tasmad vidwan kriya tyajed. Who is vidwan? The one who knows this. What does he know? Na karma sadhya mukti kintu jnaniga sadhya iti vidwan. You know, vidwan means one who knows. What does he know? Na karma sadhya mukti. One who knows that mukti is na karma sadhya. Na karmana sadhya is not, cannot be accomplished by karma. Kintu jnaniga sadhya mukti is eka sadhya, only attained by jnanam. Because Atma is already mukta, and therefore what is already there can only be attained by knowledge. What is not there, so karma is the means of creating or accomplishing what is not accomplished, and jnana is the means of what is thought to be unaccomplished, which is already accomplished. So this is called Vidwan, Janan, who knows this. Kriyaha sarvani sahankarani karmani tyajed vidya kriyaha tyajed. Therefore, in fact, Vidwan who knows the reality of the matter should give up the karma. He keeps on performing karma, creates different bodies for himself and therefore creates, so perpetuates the bondage. And so give up the karma. Not giving karma gives you moksha. But giving up karma and then knowing yourself is what the knowledge is, the means of moksha. Then what should you do? Karmani tyajed sanyasya shravanadinishto bhavet. Always when Vedanta talks about sannyasa, karma sannyasa, it is shravanadinishto bhavet. Not that you become a beggar, but you dedicate yourself to, now that you have all the leisure, all duties are given up, all responsibilities are given up. And so now, how to use the time? Shravanadinishto, shravanam, mananam, nidhyasam, that's what you should do now. No sarvesham karmanam atmakartayatva pratide na vidwan kriyas tyaktum shaknuyadeti. But we find that all the karmas are performed by Atma. How can vidwan give up the karma? Atma kartavyatva pratide. What appears is that Atma is performing all the kriyas. Na vidwan kriyaha tyaktum shaknuyad. Therefore, how can a vidwan give up the kriya? Because he is performing kriya. Atma is performing kriya, that's what it appears to be. So, how do you say Atma is not karta? So, next verse is Karma swatma swatantraschet nivrittau cha tathaishyadam adehatve phale karye ज्ञाते कुर्यात् कथम क्रियाः. Karmasu Atma Swatantraschet. If Atma was free to perform the action, Nivrittau Chathaishyadam, then he can very well give up the karma also. If Atma is performing, free in performing karma, then he is free also in giving up the karma. Adehat, then why should he give up karma? Adehatve phale akarye jnate. We know that the adehatvam is not phalam, akaryam. Therefore, kuryat. So knowing that moksha is adehatvam, kuryat katham kriyaha, then that vidwan, how can he perform the karma? So Tika says, Atma chet karma su swatantrah karta. If you say Atma is performing karma, and so is free to perform karma, tarhi nivrittau cha karma tyagrupe cha tatha ishyadam, then you would accept that Atma also can give up the karma. So how does it work? यथा रागादिमान प्रवृत्ति लक्षणे कर्मणि स्वतंत्र है. Who performs karma? Is prompted by desire. Why did they have desire? Because it is raga dvesha. So yatha ragadiman pravrutti lakshane karmani swatantra. So one who possesses raga dvesha, therefore desires, therefore attachment, therefore raga means attachment for karma phala, attachment of vishayas, etc. So pravrutti lakshane karmani swatantra, then he is swatantra. He is free to perform the action to fulfill his desires. Tatha Vishuddha Sattva, but by same token, Vishuddha Sattva, Vita Raga, one who has managed to make his mind free from Raga Dvesha. Tyagepi Swatantra Ishyatam, you accept that, you should accept that Atma. So Atma is not always compelled, even if you accept Atma as performing karma. Then also you must recognize what it is that makes Atma perform karma. It is raga dvesha and desires born of that, that's what makes him perform karma. So Atma is free to perform karma, then when his mind becomes free from raga dvesha, then there is no prompting to karma at all. Karyate hyavashah karma. Nahi kaschit kshunapi Jadu Tishtari Akarama. Lord Krishna says that for a moment also a person cannot remain without activity because his ragadveshas compel him to perform activity. If ragadveshas are gone, there is nobody to compel you to perform the action, then you are free to give action also. Davat tatyagevi swatantra hisyatam. If Atma is free to perform action, you would accept that Atma is free also to renounce actions. कर्म साध्य फलाभिलाष भावे कर्म त्यागस्य अर्थ प्राप्तत्वात्. So they only look at the karma. Vedanta looks at the mechanism of the karma, the anatomy of karma. That karma is the reason. What's the reason? Raga dvesha is the reason. No, Atma is not the reason. Atma is not the reason to perform karma. Atma is not prompted by Veda to perform karma. His raga dvesha is prompted to perform karma. When Veda says you do this, you don't do that, who will respond to that command? The one who has raga dvesha. Even if he thinks that I am a Brahmana, and still he will not, if he doesn't have raga, because I have nothing to achieve, I have nothing to lose. And therefore there is nothing to achieve by performing karma. Not anything to lose by not performing karma. Yes, tvatma reva syat, atma truptasya manava, आत्म संतुष्ट तस्य कारण नैव तस्य कृतेनात् न कृतेन कश्चन. तस्य कृतेनात्, there is nothing to be accomplished by krutena, not something to be lost by not krutena, not doing. So therefore then there is no motivation to perform karma. What motivates a person to perform karma is attachment to some objects which creates desire. When there is not there, then there is no motivation to perform karma. He is free to give up karma also. No motivation, no compulsion also. Karma sadhya phalavilasha bhave karma tyagasya artha praptatvat. Artha prapti happens in natural course. Artha prapti, that happens in natural course. Just as karma happened because of the presence of raga dvesha is not there, giving karma also will automatically follow. Etadeva spashtayati. So second line says, so first line is karma su atma swatantasya. If Atma is free to perform karma because of raga dvesha, nivrittaucha tatha aishyatam. Tatha means swatantra. Then he becomes swatantra also in giving up when raga dvesha is not there. So Vedantin says that it is not Veda who makes you perform karma. Your own raga dvesha make you perform karma. If that is not there, Veda just, doesn't make anybody do anything. Veda says good for you. Perform this karma is good for you. And refrain from performing because it's bad for you. But I don't have any good and bad, therefore there is no question of Vidhi Nishada, center and Vidhi Nishada affecting me. So, adehatve phale akarye jnate. So, therefore, adehatve, adehatva deha sambandha shunya. Phale moksha lakshana. So, adehatve phale. We know that adehatva is phalam. So, what is phalam is important. Swarga is not phalam, because Swarga is not the final destination. You are going round and round, therefore, what is final destination? Yad gatva na nivartante. Reaching where you don't have to return, adehatvam. So, adehatve, deha sambandha shunye, phale. Adehatvam is devoid of freedom from deha, means freedom from the identification deha. Deha shunyatve. That's the phalam. Moksha lakshana akarye. So that is the nature. That being nature is not to be accomplished by karma. Akarye. Kena abhi karma asadhye. Akarya means that which cannot be brought about. So kena abhi karma asadhye, therefore it is something cannot be accomplished by any karma. Shastradina jnate sari. Jnate, when you know this, that adehatvam is akarya, adehatvam akaryam. And therefore the phala moksha, adehatvam moksha rakshana akaryam. So you know that real phala is adehatvam. Phala that you are seeking is not swarga, adehatvam. And there is not phalam, therefore na karyam. Iti jnate. Kuryat katham kriyaha. This Vidwan who knows this way, jnate sa shastra dina jnate sati. Now this is what Shastra tells you. You can never arrive at this. You take yourself to be so and so, and therefore Brahmana, etc., possessed of ragadvesha, possessed of desire, and therefore you cannot ever imagine that karma can be given up. You thought that kartrutva is a nature. That's not your nature. Adehatva is your nature. From scripture, when you come to know, then you realize what karma is doing to you. And then, when you become free from the attachment, then you are free to give the action also. So, kriya katham kriyaha katham kuryat. When you know that final adehatvam is the result, that's moksha. That's not karma sadhyam, it's jnana sadhyam. Then, katham kriyaha kuryat. That knower, even a mumukshu also, let alone the wise person, a mumukshu also, how can a mumukshu also perform karma? Na kuryadeva, certainly will not do tabihi prayojan abhavat, because the kriyaha is the kriyaha or karmani. So kriya means actions. He cannot perform actions because actions have no purpose for prayojan abhavat. Performing actions does not serve his purpose. His purpose is moksha. And moksha understood adehatvam. Adehatva is not kriya phalam. Adehatva is jnana phalam. Therefore, he will not be prompted into action. He will not undertake any action. So Mimamsaka is replied here, who thinks that Atma is karta bhokta and what is called moksha, a result of karma, is a karma phala. He is being told, given the definition of moksha, ashariram vasantam, ashariratva is moksha, adehatva is moksha, not attaining deha in swarga. They say that by performing karma you attain a divine deha in swarga where you enjoy divine bhoga. Vedanta says, no, that's not the thing. Attaining deha is not this swarga, is moksha, it is becoming free from deha is moksha. Because attaining deha, even if divine deha, then also you cannot release you from the perpetual cycle of birth and death. And therefore you remain a bound person, coming and going. On the other hand, when you become free from body, nothing will prompt to take another birth, and therefore you are free. So what's the nature of moksha? What is the nature of the goal? That's what decides the nature of means. Mimamsakas understand the nature of gold because they understand Atma wrongly. The nature of gold also understood wrongly. So means are also understood wrongly. And that's how all this discussion comes. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeri Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.